And did you guys find this under ultrasound or mammogram?
Mammogram.
Mammogram? Yeah.
We didn't have ultrasound for that quite
Okay.
long ago.
When was your first one, Patty?
1995.
Okay.
And were you pretty faithful about getting them, or getting your
Oh, yeah.
mammograms? Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good thing that they can see the
Yeah, I
change.
still get them every 6 months.
Oh, so they have you on a 6-month follow-up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what, did you have a lumpectomy, or?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And then you had a reoccurrence in
Yeah.
2005?
9 years later, I had a recurrence.
Did anyone ever suggest you that you should get an MRI as a...
Oh, I had an MRI. I was one of the first ones in my hospital laying upside down in the MRI
Oh, yeah,
machine.
right. And I didn't see anything on the MRI?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that's where they saw the second cancer, or?
No, it was big enough that it showed up on just the mammogram.
Okay. Because that's one of the modalities that we like to use is MRI when we do, especially today. Now, in 95, totally different deal. But like today, when we do find a breast cancer, one of the things that is encouraged by physicians is that you do get the MRI.
Oh, sure.
Because it could be multicentric, which means it's in more than one area. And so that is information that we would like to get out to our patients, is that that's something that you might want to ask for depending on
At
your
that
type of
point,
breast
a
cancer.
lot of women just absolutely refused to do the MRI.
Mhm.
It's so dang noisy.
Yeah, they're noisy.
And
But there's
it's
no
very
radiation.
expensive.
And they're expensive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the insurance don't pay, but it should pay. If you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, your insurance should pay for that. Because it is FDA approved, and it's pretty much becoming the standard for patients with breast cancer.
And so did you have radiation?
Radiation and chemo.
And chemo,
But I just
okay.
had radiation the second time.
Oh, okay.
And you continue to teach at your
Yeah.
business class at community college, right?
Do the
Yep,
whole
I
thing.
had to keep insurance.
Yeah.
I know. That's
Yep.
the hard part. So did they find the second breast cancer with digital?
No, I don't think they had that yet.
Okay. Okay.
At my hospital.
I don't feel like that we missed anything on film at all.
I don't
But I
either.
feel like that digital, we do get better images. It's more detailed. It's kind of like I explain it with going from your film camera to your digital camera. You
Yes.
just have so much more capability to blow it up, make it lighter, make it darker. And then these are the options that our radiologists have with digital.
Jim and I for years have done the walk at night and done a lot of fundraising and stuff. Was anybody's paid for by the walking we did?
Mine was paid by the Department of Defense.
Okay, that's good. Insurance.
And as my son, who was in the Navy by then, said, "Mom, I'm so glad. It makes me proud to know that the Department of Defense honors the mom as the foundation of the home."
Wow, that is great.
Yeah, because I was trying to make sense. I was, "Oh, Mom, this is really special." So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
My understanding, I should say, is that the Planned Parenthood is the
Yeah.
funding or the distributor of that, and several people have had problems with that,
Yeah.
and I have no problem with that. Somebody has to distribute it. Somebody has to be that core. And
It was Planned Parenthood, the very first one that I went to. It said you need a mammography. So
Yeah,
they did their homework to the T.
that's awesome.
Good.
I
Yeah.
use Planned Parenthood as well for pap smears.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were wonderful.
That's good. Well, I know that during October that American Cancer Society does fund mammograms or low-cost mammograms
Yes.
for, of course, people that, well, I don't think it's for everyone. I'm not even sure quite how you qualify
Yeah.
for it. But I know that they do put money back into the community for screening mammograms. And I
Good.
think that if it is a screening and it goes on to a diagnostic and a biopsy, that they do help with that.
Leanne had a mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long ago that would be, but there was no evidence of anything. And then, this is the things you learn about yourself and your spouse. She had determined that there was a lump of some sort, but she convinced herself it was a cyst
Oh.
Oh,
for
dear.
quite some time. But the way it went down for us is that she did finally go in for a physical, which I had got to make that appointment, so on.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me whenever she got done, and Leanne's in relatively, even still, relatively good health in almost every area. She called me and said, well, that went well. And I said, did you tell him about the lump in your left breast?
Uh-oh.
Long silence. She said, no. I said, well, then you need to get back out of the car and go back in. She said, I can't. That'd be too embarrassing. I said, I really don't care at this point. I am not going to let you do that. She said, but I'm very, very scared of what he might tell me.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, so that's where it went down, and just thinking about the ways that you're helping to take away some of the unknown. What does a callback mean? Because I know that's what she was afraid of, is that once she noticed there was something there, it's like you start building this whole story that doesn't even exist yet, but you build the whole story.
Oh, yeah, especially in the middle of the night.
So,
Especially in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Oh.
Bye, sweetheart.
And that's kind of why we're here today, is because we wanted to kind of get real life experiences and what you went through. And, it was traumatic for you. And being the husband and knowing, what the care you got and what steps you guys took, it's so great that you guys are here to talk to us about this.
We both really got down to it about the second week after the seriousness of it hit. I just told her, I said, you've got to back your ears and do whatever is necessary to do this, but you have to keep the objective in mind. And I knew she was already doing that, but I just wanted her to know I was going to be there in that same attitude. And so
Wow,
the
that's
decisions,
wonderful.
We would do the research, although I would highly recommend to most people that they not Google their disease. I really...
No. Yeah.
Not because...
Oh, there's some wonderful breast cancer sites on the computer.
Yeah, that's the thing, but
Wonderful.
I think...
Yeah, but your mind can go.
I think it's not that I found that there wasn't good stuff, it's just sometimes the extremes are the things that get reported on.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, I hope Leanne doesn't read that. Because it's like, that's not where we are. Yes,
Right.
it's a possibility, but it's more like, well, if that is a possibility, let's cross that bridge later.
Right. Right.
That's what I mean
It's
by
so
don't just
scary.
Google it.
It's
Oh,
so scary.
yeah.
There's just so much information, like I said, and most of it's really extreme, and it just scares you to death. And so
Now, she found a couple of places, I can't even remember which ones that she went to so frequently, but she found them to be very helpful, encouraging,
I did too.
good.
educational, resourceful,
And all
these
the other
kinds of things.
people writing in
Yes.
to it.
And that's an important thing, is to blog with other people and to know where they're at and how they're feeling. Oh.
Well, it's interesting to hear it from a husband's perspective.
It sure is. That's really
Because
wonderful.
My husband doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He was caring, but he doesn't talk. I would never learn anything like that from my husband.
Yeah.
that's why a lot of women are really afraid to report it or to have it denoted because they're afraid their spouse is not going to be supportive. And a lot of spouses aren't
No,
supportive.
there's a lot of
They're
divorces.
really not. I mean, they don't know how to handle that. They can't go through that. Well,
And
she's
I
really
have
lucky
to say
have
that
you.
my gender has a tendency to be extremely shallow.
Yes.
Not
Really scared. I don't think it's shallow
I
as
don't
much as
think
it
it's
is that
shallow.
they don't know how to deal with it, and there's not enough education out there to help men deal with it.
Yeah,
it's
but
scary. It
I
is.
are a man, and I will say there are a lot of men who are shallow.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Because they put so much stock on appearance.
They do.
I have, and we have to go because
Yeah.
I haven't seen this lady in about 3 years. Her daughter's at home waiting for our tea party. My boyfriend was my pain control supporter. Only the prescribed painkillers did anything for my pain, and because of that, I couldn't teach. I had to go home because when I took the big stuff after
Yeah.
the expanders, I just slept.
Yeah.
And it was him who said, it's okay for you to sleep. I had a great fear of addiction. And he would say, it's just fine. And then I also said, I'm going to get the expanders done so fast so I can go back to school. And he said, who said you have to do that?
Yeah. Well, that's great.
He was absolutely wonderful for me. And I never, ever felt that I was less than a woman. It was very interesting to walk after the double mastectomy. It was only 5 minutes before my mastectomy surgery that I said to the surgeon, do you have time to take both? Oh. And I said, because
Really?
I know that when I wake up, I will start thinking, oh dear, when's it going to be in the next one? He went and looked at the schedule and he came back and he said, yes, I do.
Wow.
And I had seen the trauma that my kids, my boyfriend and my brother in Afghanistan, caught it. They all had gone through enough. And I said, you know, it's just not about me. It's about my family.
Wow.
They don't need to go through this again. This was hell.
Yeah.
And I was so glad we took both for surgery.
Well, we would be happy to take any suggestions you have for our site. And this is like, I'm going to cry. This is like such a great session here. And before you guys leave, I would just like to know, I mean, like, how is your recovery and how do you feel about it? And can you give any encouragement to women that are going through this?
You just go through it.
It's in every,
You
yeah.
go to the cancer center and you do what they tell you and you come out well.
Yeah.
But this whole thing of what are you supposed to expect from this, there's just nothing. It's not easily, there is stuff, but it's just not easily
Different
accessed.
for every single
It
person.
is. Maybe that's why there isn't a roadmap, because everyone experiences it differently.
When I had cancer the first time, I was doing chemo. Well, my father died of cancer,
Oh.
and they had diagnosed my husband with the
Melanoma?
blood one, myeloma.
Myeloma, okay.
And the cancer doctor said, boy, I've never treated family with 3 cancers all at once. And so, and my mother took the whole death and everything so terrible that I was a mess.
Yeah.
And then I was still trying to teach, and I had chemo brain, and I couldn't remember my kids' names. And once in a while I couldn't think of a word, you know, classroom of 42 people, and the kids just did not like that I couldn't remember their names. So I
Did they know
retired
what you
early.
were going through?
I don't know. Some
And
of them did.
What age group?
College,
No.
College.
freshmen and sophomores. The adults got it, but the kids.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, and stay with. We'll get together again, and we really appreciate this. And visit our site, and we're excited about this. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you. I mean, we just are so happy you did this.
Just tell your new patients to. The doctor will see them through, and of course, if they're stage 4, there's other things to say.
Keep your support group.
Yeah.
Keep your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you so much.
Guys, have a good night.
Yeah.